something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches! Welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay. And you're our listener.
Hi, listeners.
Hello, listener. You may be viewing or listening, or both. I guess technically if you're viewing, you're also listening. Unless you're trying to sneak it at work, and you little sneaky devil.
We're in another tab, Jay. We're in a tab. We're in a tab way in the back of your browser. Hey, how you doing? Look at you doing all that work. You're using that Excel sheet. Don't worry about us. We won't tell your boss what you're actually doing. It's all good.
If your boss is looking at your computer right now and being like, oh, great work, know that they're also sneaking a podcast. Check the other tabs right now.
We'll never tell.
That's okay.
Well, we're at the back of the browser, Jay.
I know. It's just when you do like the high voices sometimes, I'm just like, you're going for creepy and you are succeeding.
That's a reference. Do you remember that movie? I'll Never Tell. It was Brittany Murphy's one of the last Brittany Murphy films.
No,
and
I got nothing.
she is. Does it take place in an asylum or like a mental health institute type of thing? And someone's got to get something information out of somebody, and she's all like, "I'll never tell." And it was in the trailer, and for whatever reason, it stuck with me. So whenever that comes up, that's how I say that line.
Hooray!
Good story, Adam. Hey, all right.
I enjoyed it, as everyone else did at home, I'm assuming.
And so did your boss, I assume, if he had plugged your headphones.
Who cares? You're getting fired anyways. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, Adam and I are the two hosts of the absolute juggernaut, the end bringer of all reaction content.
Wow.
So huge, it has its own gravitational pull. Previewed, where we react, review, and riff to all sorts of pop culture. It's mostly just us just going, oh, neat. Reaction content.
Yep. That's how I would describe us. The guys that go, cool.
Cool, man.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, not the guys that, quote unquote, talk throughout the entire thing.
We would never do that, Jay.
We would never do that.
We would never talk over important dialogue to know why Allison Hightower is late for the wedding
and wearing green.
We would never do that. We would listen to that scene and know full well why she's doing it. She's declaring war on Rhaenyra and wants to get her son on the throne. And we knew that because we listened to the dialogue.
We sure did.
And we're not just trying to find a bit. Not us. That's not what we do. That's not our brand.
Not at all. We pay attention to every single word.
That's why we go, neat. And then go, focus in.
Yeah. But here on Fix It, we take pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe didn't cross the finish line the way we wanted it to, and we fix it. We are well aware that it is a overarchingly negative concept, but we swear it's all in good fun.
Yes. This is all in good fun. There's just a couple of yokels just having fun telling stories to each other. That's all this is. Although this week, I think everyone agrees. They're like, yeah, man, go dunk on this one. It's all good.
Y'all gonna get dunked on. Get him. Yeah, there are some days where they're like, hey, but he's had enough. And today they're like, the thumb goes down. Today we are fixing the 2022 classic Morbius.
Well, it wanted to be that movie was supposed to come out, I think, fall of 2020,
it was supposed to come
right?
out so many times.
This was one of the things that got pushed back during the pandemic.
Because I felt like we reacted to trailers to this movie over and over and over again, long enough that we forgot that it was coming out, and so it felt like a fresh reaction. And people were like, "Did you guys already do this trailer?" We're like, "Oh, whoops!"
It is the same trailer. Just it's been 6 months.
It's been a long time, you guys. Yeah. Whoops.
Unlike like Wonder Woman or Black Widow, I mean, Marvel did their best of like, okay, we kept pushing back Black Widow, but you know what? Here's some different trailers.
Yeah.
Like there was the one where I was like playing the nostalgia stuff. Like here's all the stuff with Nat.
I feel like they finally got to a trailer that was actually good for that movie.
Oh sure,
because those first couple were not very.
They kept
great.
trying to come up with at least a new trailer every time, and then like Wonder Woman 1984 didn't do that because we definitely reacted to the same trailer twice for that one, and also probably this one.
Whoops. That therein lies the potholes of making pop culture content, as it were. Is that sometimes you walk into a buzzsaw a little bit because there's a pandemic and there's bigger problems, but people were mad we reacted to the same trailer twice.
I will say though, Jay, those two videos of us reacting to Wonder Woman 1984
are both great.
They are funny.
Yeah.
They are. I don't know if we recycled any bits because it was long enough. We did not remember.
We are very good.
Did we? No, I think
we're very good.
Because the first one's great, and then the second one we both like. It's the same trailer. Well, we're gonna finish the video out. Here we go. And then we just had some fun at our own expense. I mean, this movie is so bad that people were seeing it because it was bad.
Yes.
Well, like Cats. Cats got a second or third life because it was so bad. People were like, no. You gotta go see this.
Oh no, you can't have a third life because that means it has 6 more to come, and I can't handle that as a human. Cats.
I demand the butthole cut. Enough people went to go see it, and everybody hated it, but generated enough buzz that the internet as a whole decided to just troll this movie and decide that this was the year of the Morbin. Every day I'm Morbius. Well, I can't shuffle in the chair, Jay, but imagine I'm Morbin. Just imagine I'm Morbin in this chair to a cool beat. Morbius. Yeah. So this movie got infamous. And then it went out of theaters after making a decent amount of change, I think. And then Sony, for whatever reason, saw the internet and was just like, wow, everyone's talking about Morbius.
This movie memed itself faster than most things.
Yes.
Like, its Morbin time became...
It still works. And it's
still funny.
It's still funny.
It's still funny. Like, the amount of times... Like, I did watch along with Preview's Discord channel. We did, like, have fun little, like, watch through, like, in chat, and the amount of times that new Morbin time gifs kept popping up and made me laugh every single time. I was like, they're all new and different, and they're all their own little beautiful snowflakes, and I love every single one of them.
It's a funny joke because everyone hates this movie, and it's all ironic.
Before we kind of like launch into Morbius, how are you?
Jay, I'm doing all right. You know what? This week has been absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And I don't think you checked your phone last night. I know you didn't. You didn't check it this morning. Because on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? When did the Deadpool thing come out? The Deadpool announcement with Wolverine. Was that Tuesday or Wednesday? It was Tuesday because we were doing Cobra Kai. So Ryan Reynolds comes out with a video with Hugh Jackman saying, hey, guess what? Deadpool 3, it's got Wolverine in it. And that thing dropped as we were doing an episode of Cobra Kai. So we were finished. We were tired. Like, you know what? That's it for the day. We've done our best. We're done. Great. Packing everything up. About ready to go. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, Ryan Reynolds dropped a thing. You guys got to do a reaction to this.
I guess we got to do this right now.
So we jumped right back into the studio. Boop, 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 set everything back up. Didn't know we were about to watch. We truly didn't because it just happened as we were wrapping up. It's like, okay, great. Here we go. Watched it. It was a great, fun video. Hey, Wolverine's going to be Deadpool 3. Oh, my God, this is crazy. This is happening. Got the video out really quick. And that night, we were the 49th trending video on YouTube. Check under the my message to you last night at like 11 p.m. Yep, the Peaches found out that we were the 49th trending video on YouTube.
Yeah, I was kind of already out of it at that point. I did not. My phone was off.
Yeah. So at 2 a.m, we were the 49th video on YouTube. Yeah, nuts. And then at 9 a.m, Fettuccine found out that we were the 39th trending video on YouTube.
That's insane.
That's insane. That's insane. And I feel like we got real lucky because we got the video out in time and because I had no idea what to put in the thumbnail. Because usually we kind of go for like a tongue-in-cheek type of wordplay type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to put in it because like this is not something we usually do because it's just like, hey, it's news, not like a trailer or an episode or something where I can like refer to something.
It's not really like it's not quite a specific thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know what to put in the thumbnail, but this is such a popular news item that I don't think I really need to put anything in it. People will know what I'm talking about. That I accidentally did the YouTube thumbnail trick of putting like a title on a video that makes someone go like, wait, what? What are you talking about? To get them to click on it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that
you may have inadvertently made clickbait.
I inadvertently may have made clickbait. Because the thumbnail is he actually did it? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. So like, because I didn't know what else to do. But like looking back at it the next day, I was like, oh, I think I might have made. I actually was a clickbait. Kind of, because that's the thing. I was like, what did Ryan Reynolds do? If you didn't know, like, I gotta find out. Or if you knew, like, yeah, man, what was these guys doing?
Yeah.
But like, we're coming up on like 200,000 views on that video, which is fantastic for us.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know it was that good until last night when I checked on Patreon.
Dude, I'm sorry, I like totally missed that.
It's all good. I just know that I know as after it's past 11, Jay's not gonna check his phone, but he'll see it in the morning. Oops.
Oh,
I forgot when I woke up this morning. It's like, oh, I forgot to ask you. So we're doing it now. We're doing it on the podcast.
Do you know what was happening? I was so lost in the sauce of my Morbius fix. Like, I just needed to like. It's my writing style is that I just like sit quietly and just kind of stare and think.
Hello, darkness, my own
Pretty much.
I got it.
Yeah.
Gadzooks.
Gadzooks.
So the thing is, and not to get too technical on stuff, but the click through rate on the video, for the Ryan Reynolds video, was like 12.7%, which is insanely high because on YouTube normally the average is 5. On the thumbnail.
Interesting.
And so we've been over 10%, or we were over 10% for like 2.5 days, which is really good for YouTube.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, oops, I accidentally did the thing. Oh, that actually kind of seemed to like work. I think maybe I should just do this now and label videos like this, which is not clickbaity, but it does kind of move into the hack of makes you ask a question in your brain.
You know, everyone gets mad at quote unquote clickbait, but at the same time, it's like everyone who is doing a crazy amount of volume on YouTube is doing it. So it's like,
there's a line.
We're not, as long as we're not spoiling anything.
As long as we're not spoiling anything or lying about anything.
Yes.
Because I do not want to lie about anything.
Oh, nothing will make me click out of a video faster if I feel like I've been tricked.
Yes.
Get out of here. Like I have gotten to a point now with my social media like algorithm that like I have learned, like I do this with TikTok and with YouTube now. If like I feel like tricked by something, or if I feel like I'm being manipulated into like clicking this video or doing a thing, I will not only will I stop watching the video, I will salt the earth of the account from my feed. I'll be like, I am blocking this person. I am not I do not want to see anything more.
Sure.
It's like, are we anything if not our algorithms anymore, people? Are we anything if not our algorithms anymore? Yeah, I just was like, get out of here with that. But
yeah, I mean, this power can be used for evil, for sure. But I think I accidentally tripped on it and fell face first into it and broke my veneers. So I was like, you know what? Because that really worked with the Ryan Reynolds video. This is great. The Deadpool, everyone. Well, let's see if it works again with like Andor, and it kind of did. Yeah. And then I did it again with She-Hulk, and it kind of worked.
Like what? Like, in what way?
Just like I didn't use a.
You weren't being too clever by half.
Yeah, which I usually try to do. But like, no, it's like, you know what? Statement that causes someone to be like, what are they referring to?
Yeah.
Which I think that's a fair way of using
But
that
also,
power.
you and I we like to be the ones that are like, here's a clever little bit. And it's
Oh,
like,
sure.
no one spends that much time with these thumbnails.
Well, I will say that when we did the teaser trailer for The Last of Us,
Uh-huh.
I used the thumbnail,
yeah.
click boo, which was very clever, too clever by half.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I co-signed off.
I know you did. I was like,
that's hilarious.
I asked for an attaboy for it, and I liked it. But it did not have anywhere near the same interaction as the other ones did, which is
Look,
weird.
we're playing the game.
But we
man.
got to play the game.
playing the
This
game.
is our jorbs.
This is
So
yeah. We are blue collar content creators. Like you know,
yeah.
we got if we struck pay dirt somewhere, we gotta build a mine there. You know what I'm saying?
It's just an interesting thing that I learned about this a long time ago when we did the business course right at the beginning of the pandemic.
yeah.
Or learned about this trick, but like didn't really use it because I liked being clever in the thumbnail. But because some of our thumbnails are very funny, they're very clever, and I still like them. But I mean, if you got to have a little bit more of a statement and play the game a little bit more, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But also,
You gotta
I
do
mean,
what you gotta do.
but yeah. But I mean, as long as it gets people into the video to see, to see us and like, hi, we're goofy and funny. We're having a good time watching the thing.
The content of the video is not changing, so
Yeah.
it's like as long as it's getting people, like, whatever, man.
So I'm doing good. Like, this has been a great week for us.
Yeah. Which it's been, yeah. I'm just,
You doing okay?
yeah. It's just starting to feel a little relentless.
Yes, but the light is at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
There's 2 more She-Hulks and like a couple like we're a few weeks out.
Like, is it weird to me that this, like, because we're shooting House of the Dragon on Mondays, we're getting caught up on Cobra Kai on Tuesdays, Wednesday is Andor, Thursday is She-Hulk, and Friday is Rings of Power for Patreon. And so it's like, sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, man, I wish we could just like, hey, we're shooting everything on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's it. Yeah, but like the way that this stuff works and the way that this comes out, like that's impossible.
Yep.
So, but it's just like, like our like Office Mondays like went so far towards my own sanity.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, I'm like, yep. Every day. Okay. Like, guys, can we have shows on the same day maybe, and then we can just, I don't know.
This is way harder to do than trailers, and we need a little bit more time mentally to.
'Cause we could do trailers till the cows come home.
Well, here's the other
We
thing.
can crank those things out, baby. Those are easy.
Here's the other thing, and everyone. And this is I don't want
We
to.
started as a trailer.
We
channel.
did, and we still do trailers because once we actually have some breathing room to get through these shows, or like when She-Hulk ends, that's one more day. We get a day back.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish Cobra Kai this week. We get that day back.
Sure.
And then we're just with Andor, Hot D, and Rings of Power for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more time. Once we fulfill all the Patreon stuff we won't be able to do because we just don't have time for it. We have an absolute super mega Jaihu Grande trailer palooza awaiting us because we have missed basically the whole month of September.
Do you remember all the trailers from September?
Which at this point, like, some of these things are probably already out. But, like, we did not have the time or bandwidth to do any of these things. But, due diligence, hey, here you go. It's a 2-hour palooza.
I don't think anyone's going to be mad about
I think that might be one of the best videos we ever do.
Yeah.
Because that's basically like 2 free podcasts in one of us just watching a thing, watching all these things, slowly going even more insane than the super palooza we did in August.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's also it's way more fun doing all of them in one.
Way more fun. It's way more fun because it's like, and it's also, it's like people get the, it's like why we started doing the podcast. People get the vibe. It's like if we're going for the whole concept of hashtag internet best friends, like it gives more time to actually just like kind of relax and just kind of enjoy the ride a little bit.
And those paloozas are quite the ride because Oh boy.
Yeah, because we also get real weird by the end. It's fun.
We really do.
Yeah. I think we should probably let's just go into the format we talked about from here.
Sure, I think let's
'Cause
do
I
that.
feel like that's like an easy.
What I'm hearing from you, Jay, what I'm sensing, when I'm echolocating from what I'm hearing. Hold on a second. I have little things from my ears moving, and I hear. Is it Morbin time, Jay?
Shut up.
Hold on a second. I lich behind my back. It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin. Form of bat.
I get vampire bat. I guess. Morbius.
Morbius.
It's Morbius. The movie that
I keep thinking you're going Mobius. It's a movie. O'Reilly Auto Parts. There's not. Okay, never mind. Wow, I really didn't try to kill momentum.
Crickets. Vampire bat eats the cricket away.
Everyone at home is jiving with it and feeling it.
Oh, they're raising their hands.
Yeah, man.
They're raising that roof to O'Reilly's. Oh,
the power of the Oxford comma and the Morbius. Anyways,
Morbius was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
It didn't.
It did not.
It did not.
It was one of the first casualties of the pandemic, and it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back. Like all the other movies, like Wonder Woman, like Black Widow, and everyone was just like, to be perfectly frank and honest, when we did the first trailer for this movie, way back in 2020, I'm pretty sure my initial reaction was, why in God's name do they make a Morbius movie? This character can't do a movie. He's not strong enough for a movie. This is farce. This is silly. This is hubris. Sony, what are you doing? Okay, so the pandemic happens. We have all these movies on the shelves, and it's like, great. Hey, no one's going to the theater for a while. Put this online somewhere. Just do it. Just do it. And everything kept dragging on. And Wonder Woman came out on HBO Max when it dropped, and then Black Widow came out on Disney Plus. But Sony just held on to Morbius. Like, no, man. You got it. Oh, Morbius. It's going to be the thing. You better watch out. We really believe in this movie.
100%.
And they kept putting out trailers like, get hyped for Morbius. Get hyped for Morbius. Oh, getting pushed back again. It's okay. Get hyped. Get hyped. Here comes Morbius. Ooh, flap, flap. It's going to be great. And then...
Even as Wonder Woman's going straight to streaming. Like, everything's going straight to streaming. And they're just like, nope. We got a little secret bat in our pocket, and we're gonna hold on to it. You have no idea what to expect. It's gonna be quite the movie. Like,
there were 3 movies I think that really held on the shelf in the pandemic. And they was like, nope, we're gonna release them. We're not putting them out online. Morbius,
Black Widow.
Nope, Black Widow. Oh yes, no. Black Widow was launched on Disney Plus.
I saw it in the theaters.
So did I.
But it was not streaming beforehand.
Oh, wasn't?
Oh, no.
Oh, I thought it was I thought they did day of release. What they did day of? Brian? Did I remember? I mean, it was earlier this year. Am I misremembering this?
I'm not sure.
Hello, gentlemen. Producer Brian here, coming to you from my office basement during a rainstorm. I don't know why I shared that, but it's true, and I'm ready to help. Now, Black Widow came out on July 9th, 2021 on both Disney Plus and in theaters. If you remember, it cost about $29.99 to watch it on Disney Plus outside of your Disney Plus subscription. I also want to point out that another casualty of the pandemic was No Time to Die, the Bond movie. MGM only wanted to release it theatrically. They were like, I'll never tell. I always think about that from that trailer too, Adam. But I do want to correct you for just a second. That's from Don't Say a Word, the 2001 movie starring Brittany Murphy, which was more in the middle of her career than the end of the career. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
Jurassic Park Dominion, which is next week's episode, by the way, and Uncharted. Remember, Uncharted went to theaters earlier this year. It didn't do too great.
Hello, gentlemen. Just popping in here for a little bit of Uncharted money talk. Now, the budget for Uncharted was around $120 million, and it ended up making $401.7 million in theaters. Now, it's the 5th highest grossing video game movie of all time. However, it does have a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not exactly a critical darling. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
No.
But yeah, it was okay. So of a handful of movies that they would not release online during the pandemic, they really held on to Morbius, and it came out, and it did really well in that first week. Either through, I think, morbid curiosity or just people were just like, we need something. We don't care what. We're going to want to go to the movies. Fine. Morbius it is.
Yeah.
And enough people went and didn't like it and made fun of it and went online to tell their friends. And then the internet happened and everyone was still kind of bored because we didn't have a whole lot to talk about in pop culture. And somehow everyone decided to just meme the crap out of this movie.
Oh, it got memed hard.
To the point where we're still Morbin. Every day we're Morbin.
Yeah.
And it's just and it's still funny.
To the point that it started trending, and so Sony thought that because they were trending, that means they need to put the movie out again.
Which truly proves the point. Sony does not know what they're doing.
They have no clue.
They don't understand pop culture. They don't understand internet culture. They don't get it.
Like DC to a degree and Warner Brothers, I think, understand what people like about the movies that they make, and they understand what people to a degree.
Okay.
But like Sony is just flinging paint. Do you know what I mean? DC is just like wildly mismanaged, whereas Sony is like, oh well, yeah, they must love it. It's like, guys, no.
Did Jared Leto announce the return to theaters?
He made there was a whole thing on TikTok about having you guys love Morbius, and
it was on
you guys,
TikTok.
oh yeah, you guys are talking about Morbius, so we're gonna be putting it back in theaters. And then they put it back out and nobody went.
See, that's the thing. What I remember, because I did not when the movie came out. I was like, we were even questions. I was like, do we want to go to the theater and do a review of this? No, I didn't feel actually comfortable going to the theater at the time. But also, but not for this movie.
Absolutely not.
I'll wait for Multiverse of Madness, but I'm not gonna go see Morbius.
Yeah, no.
And then the first week I was like, oh yeah, this movie sucks. Don't go see it. But enough people saw it and be like, no, it's really bad. If you're safe, if you feel comfortable, go see it. And enough people so it got memed. But I do remember when it was announced that it's coming back to theaters, and everyone was like, "Wait, what? Okay, whoa, okay, guys, oh my god, we got them. They don't get it. Oh, okay, no one go, everyone, make a pact, pinky promise. No one go see this movie when it comes out. No, and for the most part, nobody did. Sony got clowned on because no one would go see the movie. No one wanted to go see the movie. And rightfully so. It's very bad. But then, finally, after 90 days, I guess, of its first outing in the theater or the last outing in the theater, it comes on Netflix because Sony finally has an agreement with Netflix to put all the Sony films, I think 90 to 120 days after theatrical release will be on Netflix. That's where I saw Uncharted, which is fine. It could have been way better, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't Morbius.
For real.
So, Morbius comes on Netflix. And Morbius becomes the #1 movie on Netflix for the first week and a half or so. This movie is so lucky, or the circumstances surrounding this film that are completely outside of its control just aligned for this thing to be so maligned that the internet has just been like, you know what? You suck so hard, but you're going to be in a special place on our shelf of right now, you are the thing we all hate the most, but because of that, we actually love you.
Yes.
But you suck. Don't ever do this again, but for this one time only, for this one project, you get a special place on the shelf. Look at you. Look at how bad you are. You're the worst thing ever. It's Morbin time. That's just dumb. We all like you, ironically. But, they just seemingly don't get that people like this movie, ironically.
Yeah.
To the point where it's still just so upfront with pop culture and the memes. It's still popular.
It's Morbin time.
It's so dumb.
It's just fun to say.
It is fun to say. And because they're so lucky that everyone loves the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They are lucky that there was an easy joke there that was taken and it totally works.
All right, I think we need to move on because I know I'm looking at your fix and it looks long.
It's not long.
I'm looking at your
points.
fix.
Bullet points.
It looks.
Wait, before we get to the actual
there
hold
we
on. Before we get to the how we watched it earlier this week, and Jay watched it online with the Peaches. Before we get to that part though, Brian, with a Y, but it's not what you think. What did we miss here? And how did Morbius actually do? I'm sure there's more to the Morbius story. You can fill in the gaps that we missed. But there's more here. So please enlighten us with your beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Brian, roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Hello, gentlemen. It's Morbin time. It's also October and spooky season, so we're starting it off with a bang, or should I say a bat, and trying to fix 2022's Morbius. Or should I say July 10th, 2020's Morbius. Or should I say July 31st, 2020's Morbius. Or should I say March 19th, 2021's Morbius. Or maybe I should say October 8th, 2021's Morbius. Or maybe January 21st, 2022's Morbius. Or maybe January 28th, 2022's Morbius. No, finally, April 1st, 2022's Morbius. I had to write it down. That's just too many dates. That's a lot of release dates. Morbius was directed by Daniel Espinosa and stars Jared Leto, Jared Harris, Matt Smith, Adria Arjona, Al Madrigal, and Tyrese Gibson. This movie was written by Burt Sharpless as well as Matt Sazama. This movie has a 15% if you care on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, on an about $80 million budget, it made $163.9 million. And then when they re-released it, it only made $300,000 in one weekend, which is about like almost $300 per theater, which is wild. Sony pulled it from theaters and the rest is history. My fun fact for this one is that from week 1 to week 2, this dropped 74%, which is the second worst among superhero movies behind, you guessed it, Steel. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
Good job, Brian.
Great job, Brian.
That story was well told and
Man,
filled
what a
in all the gaps.
What a twist ending.
I didn't see
Can't
that
even
coming
believe
at all.
Oh,
I can't wait for the sequel.
He was Bruce Willis the whole time. That's my favorite joke from Sunny. Man, it was Bruce Willis the whole time. God damn it. How'd you like this movie when you watched it?
I watched this. What was it? I think I watched it Sunday night. I watched it Sunday night, and I had 1.5 times speed on Netflix, and it's only 90 minutes.
It's really
which
short.
is I can't believe it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah.
The movie is very bad, but when I was watching it, and like not super paying it. I mean, I was paying attention to it. I was taking notes and stuff, but just like, with pausing to take a note here and there about stuff and going back to watching it and more with more of a critical eye. I said there's no entertainment value in this movie at all. But it's kind of like seeing past all the stupid special effects and stuff. I was like, okay, this story, they tried. It's like, I get what they were going for.
There are some, like, certain aspects of this movie, like, you can feel them I would say Matt Smith's villain turn, actually, you root for him. Like, you get it.
He's having the most fun in this movie. He's great.
And he's wildly compelling, too.
Yes, he's the most compelling person on screen this entire movie.
Easily.
So, like, I saw what they were doing. Like, yeah, Morbius is not a strong enough character to have his own movie. He's supporting at best. That's why he's a Spider-Man villain. That's why he's part of the Midnight Suns. He's part of a team. He can't support his own movie. It's only 90 minutes, and this was like stretched out, and like, this is not good. That's why we needed time to see Matt Smith dance, like, because we didn't have time to hang out with Jared Leto being all like mopey and sad and creeping on people and saying
I will say
he's
this.
Venom.
If we have to pick one main problem with this movie, at least, I mean, I can only speak for myself here, but it's Jared Leto. He doesn't have any
Charisma?
like, at all.
No.
Like you can see them trying to write him interesting and kind or funny, or it's not even that he doesn't have charisma. It's like they you can see the writers trying to apply attributes to this character,
Sure.
and it just slides off him the whole time. It's like Jared Leto just walked from scene to scene saying these words and being a Batman in a way that I was like, it's like he's not doing anything. It's like he's not doing anything.
He looks the part.
Sure.
And
Sure.
And the only real backstory kind of that I have with Morbius is from the Spider-Man animated series back in the 90s.
100%.
That's how I know this character.
Yes, that's how
I'm
most of
Morbius,
us know it.
the living vampire. And, well, of course, he sucked stuff people out of his hands. That was just dumb.
I kind of liked it.
But he's just not likable in this movie.
No, at all. But we also, it's also they're trying to build us an anti-hero story, and they don't make him either. They don't make him a hero or a villain, really.
No.
A villain in that he killed those 8 dudes on that boat.
But why?
But yeah,
There's truly we should. Oh, we're gonna do an experiment. Well, we gotta get to international waters.
why?
Why?
Just do it in your lab, dude.
Why?
No one's gonna know.
Well, because laws and rules and stuff. Like,
Yeah, but
okay,
just do it after everyone leaves.
sure, whatever. Okay, but then we're getting on a boat, and there's gonna be like 8 mercenaries on this boat. Why? Why is there 8 mercenaries on this boat? Why do they gotta be? Why? And then they just be angry, and then he murders them all in a really bad horror scene. They were trying so hard for it to be scary.
He just is never. He's never a hero. He's never really saving anyone. Really, like it just doesn't feel like. It
No,
just feels
he's
like
not.
I have bat powers and I'm struggling to fit into society with it. And then Matt Smith's like, we can do whatever we want. We're basically gods now. And there he's like, no. And then apparently he can talk to bats.
He's got a kinship with them. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just felt bad for those bats because they were in that tube the whole time in his lab, and I was like, those bats never get to sleep.
Nope.
There's no purchase. They're just flying around the whole time. I was like, those bats are exhausted. I was like, no wonder they killed Matt Smith because they were so they were so hungry and tired. They're just spinning in a tube.
I don't think he ever let him out.
Yeah. It just
Well, that and the fact that they were also Amazing Spider-Man 2ing this whole thing as well. Of like, hey, a bunch of Spider-Man references. It's Horizon Labs. We're in New York City. Daily Bugle. Venom's in this universe. Because he said that line is dumb. There's no reason you say, who are you? I'm Venom. Like, that's dumb. No, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's just, no. No, you put that line in there specifically for the trailer, and it doesn't work.
yeah.
It's very dumb.
And also, apparently, according to the post-credit sequences, we're getting a Morbius and Vulture team up for absolutely no reason. There was no reason for any of that. And also to have a post-credits, like a pre-post-credit sequence, like a mid-credit sequence, be Vulture showing up, and then the post-credit sequence being another thing about the Vulture. I was like, I've never been more insulted by a post-credit sequence in my entire life. Why did we need both of these?
Well, here's the other thing. I'm just now thinking of this. When the movie was supposed to come out in 2020, maybe that made way more sense. But this movie came out after No Way Home,
So much. Yep.
which I think Venom needed to come out, or Venom 2 needed to come out before No Way Home. Like, it needed to come out before No Way Home. Because
Yeah.
if it didn't, that after credit scene would have made no sense.
Yeah.
So thankfully it was able to. Holy crap. Did they just port Eddie into the MCU? Awesome. After credit scene No Way Home. Oh no, he's getting sucked back. Oh, that was... Oh, you tricky... the symbiote got left behind. Okay, cool. If that's how they're going to do it, neat. We're going to get Venom in the MCU. Cool. But now seeing this movie months after No Way Home, and I was like, there's no reason that Vulture should still be there. he should be in his universe of origin.
Yeah, it doesn't
This doesn't make any sense. Also, why would he have the wings? That doesn't make any sense. He didn't build them. The Tinkerer did. None of this makes. Also, that's completely a CG vulture.
It's so stupid.
That's not Michael Keaton.
It's so stupid.
This is very dumb.
It's so stupid.
Why would they? This is very dumb. They're not even. This is no, Sony. No. I don't even know what you're trying to do.
No clue.
I don't. We'll never.
I'm at a loss.
And we'll never know. But it's. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's bad.
Yeah.
And you should stop that line of thinking.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Don't make a Sinister Six movie with the C and B tier, maybe villains of Spider-Man. It's not going to work.
No, we don't want it.
No, we don't.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh man, this. Like I watched it with the Discord, and that ended up being really fun. But if I had just watched this by myself, I don't know how I would have gotten through it. I just found Jared Leto to be so. I mean, and I think that's. And the point that got brought up during said Discord chat during the movie, the real fix of this movie, you don't make this movie.
Nope.
That's just the long and the short of it. You don't make Morbius. That's how you fix Morbius. It's a movie that none of us asked for.
Nope.
No, none of us wanted.
Nope.
It just, that's how you fix Morbius. It just doesn't, it's not a movie. And we were talking about this earlier. It's a movie you earn. Morbius is a movie I could see enjoying, not this movie, but just like a Morbius movie.
Yes.
If you're talking like once we get the new Blade in the MCU and we move through and say we get to the third Blade movie and it's like kind of a backdoor Morbius Morbius origin story, a la like Black Panther showing up in Civil War.
Yep.
That's awesome. That I can get behind. That's really fun. If he's going to become a Blade character, which he ends up being eventually, that's compelling.
Absolutely.
But just coming right out the gate with a Morbius movie is insane to me. Considering the litany of bad guys that we have for Spider-Man, that's the one you go with?
Sony is so desperate to use their half of the Spider-Man contracts they have with Marvel that I don't know what they're thinking about trying to push out these movies.
I don't think they care.
I don't think they care, and I feel like they got lucky with Venom, which is truly the only Spider-Man villain that could actually hold its own movie.
That could actually carry me.
And they got lucky with the first Venom movie.
Yes.
It's good.
The second one is not.
The second one's not as good as the first one, but it's like the first one was a B. The second one's more like a C.
I will take Venom 2 over Morbius any day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. But you could see them trying to make Morbius into like a Venom-esque movie or like a Spider-Man movie just by like punching into the face, like get into the formula.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fit the formula. And or the writers didn't do a good job, or Jared Leto didn't do a good enough job to make this character likable at all. Because we didn't care about him.
I think the script is not half bad. I think it's. I am at the firm camp. I was just like, I can't believe. I just like can't believe how little I care about Jared Leto in this. Like,
yeah, the script is really trying. They did a decent job of like, we need a story. Like, okay, here it is. Like, yeah, I see what you're doing. A valiant attempt. It just didn't come to life right.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of coming to life, like, what did you think of the CG in this movie? Because there's a lot in this movie.
I thought it was like the really, really hit or miss. Some of the stuff, like the quote unquote bat radar. Remember that? It's like bat radar.
Oh, the echolocation or like bat radar for
sonar. Hey, echolocate. Bro, we have terms for this. Your character's a scientist, and he's gonna say bat radar. I loved how they put that in the first trailer and just got pwned. Like man, it's just like you don't. He's been working with bats for years, and he's gonna say bat radar. How dare you? How dare you? I thought some of that stuff was really cool. I thought some of the flying sequences were neat. It was the casual turning in and out of bat face that didn't totally work. All
Getting the
time.
game face on as if we were watching Buffy. That's what they call it.
Yeah, it felt a little weird.
It was not. Yeah, I don't understand why he moves fast or is jumping or flying, that the smoke effects were coming into play, because like there's just so much of it.
It's because it looked cool.
It did not.
I thought it was cool.
It was a muddled mess.
I
It's
thought it was
just
fun.
it's just too much stuff on screen. I don't like.
Well, the end fight of this movie also fell into the same Venom trap. At least,
Yes.
you couldn't really tell what was going on.
No, it's too dark. And
many
then
bats.
we had too many bats. and
Too
there's
many grapes. There's too many bats.
Just too many things moving on screen at the same. And then there's a bat Kamehameha. I don't know. The whole thing was just. I didn't like the CG. It was too. They just like, we got to do something different. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you
You
don't.
really don't do the thing. It just you're making it muddled and just kind of. It's not a good movie.
No, it is not. No, it is
Not a good movie.
Shall we move into fixing it?
Yeah. Yes. And again, remember, the true fix is to never do this movie.
Yeah, this is the true fix. It's just and this is the first movie I think we've done so far where the real answer is just don't do it. But that's a short podcast. That's a short
Yeah.
one. That's not what we're doing here. Adam,
Oh, yes, Jay.
fix it.
I shall do my best to try to fix this. Of the 11 episodes that we've put out so far,
Has it been 11 so far?
yeah.
Wow.
Now
good
that I
for
have
us.
access to the Podbean, I can
Look at
see how many
us.
we've done.
You've always had access to the Podbean. You just
I didn't use it. I started using it. I like watching numbers grow.
you'd be like, I love how Brian texts us the numbers. I'm like, you can just go look at them. He was like,
Turns
oh.
out I could. This one has been the hardest one to do because all the other stuff we've done, and we already got the Jurassic Park Dominion stuff ready to go because we watched it
I
a
watched
couple weeks
that
ago.
in a COVID fever dream. So my fixes is weird.
But all the other movies we've done have like invoked emotion out of me, be it like, anger that this is so bad, or just like, oh, like Thor, like, oh, I love this, but I just missed. Okay, no, but I know how to. Okay, just we're gonna add this. I'm gonna take like it evoked something in me, the energy to attempt to make this movie better.
You know what it is? It's like, yeah, but there are pieces. It's like there are pieces of the movie lying on the battlefield, and you're like, no, man, no, like we're gonna put you back together, man. But this movie is just like, nah, this is just ash. I don't really want to.
Yeah,
We're done here, I think.
I think we're good.
No, man, no, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it home, man. like
Yes.
like in the military where they're like putting his guts back in, like you're gonna be fine, man. You're gonna be fine. It's like he's not gonna be fine. He's not gonna make it. Why do you gotta stab me, Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, this movie evoked nothing in me. I was so upset this movie was made, and I'm also upset they're making a Craven movie.
Why?
Again, a movie I think that could be earned later
maybe.
on. Like Craven's Last Hunt needs to be like
Sure.
earned
Maybe
in years down the line,
Come
not
on.
the opening gambit. Anyways,
on.
this one was very hard for me. So because they were really trying to make this a Spider-Man-esque movie, and it's like a superhero origin movie, I'm going right down the middle of the plate. This is the superhero origin movie of Morbius. I'm doing the Spider-Man formula and putting Morbius in it. Like, this is how they should have done it if they really wanted a Morbius anti-hero vigilante, but more maybe a little bit leaning more towards a Spider-Man. So,
You okay?
here we go. The beginning of the movie, it's Michael and Martine.
Martine.
Martine? I don't know why.
Martine.
Yes, it's
me,
it's,
Martine.
It's Martine the Manatee.
Hey guys. Oh, you're really going weird.
She's in a tank. Yeah, why not? She's just pushing balls around, helping with science.
Hi, everybody. Oh, that's the narrator of your Mario. Hey, I thought, I didn't see you come in there. Let me tell you my favorite story. It's a story about Morbius. Oh, man, thanks, Manatee.
Martine. There we go.
Martine.
Martine. Michael and Martine Bancroft, who, by the way, did look up is a comic book character. Like, they did a good job of researching. Like, these are all characters from Morbius's backstories and stuff.
Well, all the Night Stalker stuff, there's a lot going on.
So, okay, in this version of events, it's Michael and Martine working in a privately funded med lab. Like but it's not Horizon. I see what you're doing. You didn't need to do that. It's just a privately funded medical lab, much like Otto Octavius did with Peter in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Okay.
So did you play or you watched enough of it to kind of remember what Otto's lab was like a little bit?
Yes.
So just kind of picture that type of format.
Okay, I like that.
It's just the two of them. They're working really hard. They got a private funder.
The Spider-Man video game did Dr. Octopus maybe better than anything.
Oh no, it was fantastic.
It was incredible.
It was. I mean, they did a fantastic job with that universe.
Spider-Man 2 was awesome, but I was like, this dynamic is so good. I mean, I understand this is more Ultimate Comics influence, but,
Sure.
it's so good.
But it's very good.
There's
a reason why I'm taking it because it's like, no, this is the right vibe to this.
Yeah.
So so they're working and they're trying to find a cure for Michael's disease, which we now know more about because did they do a good job of explaining it in the movie? Because I feel like they didn't.
No, it's blood disease.
Blood disease, and you got to get the transfusions a couple times a day. But like, that's all I really was there. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen to you eventually. I felt like they just like blood disease. It's bad. Get transfusion. There's no fix yet. There's no cure.
Yeah.
I think we get more information about what this thing
For
actually
those
does to
people
the
who
body.
Are so worried about like having an early death. They were surely grown ass men. You know what I mean? They were like, I can.
I mean, they were in their 30s, so like, at least it seemed like it.
Like, it seems like they're doing okay.
It was manageable. It seemed like it was manageable.
Yeah.
Although the young girl, did go into a
so
coma
sad.
and then was never seen again. I guess they maybe like put her in a coma and they took her upstairs and then she was.
Yeah, man.
They family matters her.
Yeah.
Just
or Boy Meets World, or both of those.
Did
shows.
somebody then a boy who had
Little sister?
There was a little sister in Boy Meets World.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I didn't remember her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both those shows did the exact same thing.
Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
She came
that.
back eventually, but she was
Oh,
like,
did
"Man, I've
she?
been upstairs for a long
Oh,
time."
did she say that? That's funny.
Just been in my room.
Okay. Well, okay. We now know more about this disease.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of important information. So they're gonna do this. They're trying to figure something out. They're like, you know what? We're gonna try vampire bat stuff. Cool. It's the same basic premise, but he doesn't go to Puerto Rico or wherever. They're just doing it in the lab. They have access to like vampire bat stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in New York City as a whole, there's an organized crime problem happening, and everyone seems to be really worried about this shadowy crime boss that seems to be in charge of the city.
Yeah.
Goes by the name of Tombstone.
Oh, cool.
We just see,
Hell yeah, that's the right. Yep, I like that.
Yeah. See, already better. So
That's already so much better.
So they're working on stuff. There's crime in the city. Oh, Tombstone's so scary because he showed up in like Daily Bugle headlines and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And one time, as Martine comes into the lab, she gets hassled by a couple of punks just kind of hanging out in the streets, getting like hassling or whatever. It's like, oh, these guys are thugs for the Tombstone's gang.
Yeah.
Those are come to the
Tombtones.
The Tombtones.
They're always singing.
There's always four of them.
Doo-wop groups. Yeah.
So we just learn Act 1 information about stuff, about people, everyone's backstory. Clearly, there is some romantic feelings between Michael and Martine. Like they kind of alluded to it. No, they really are. They are attracted to each other, but like the disease kind of hampers stuff and whatever, and they're trying to. But like they clearly really like each other. So the thugs eventually break into the lab. And like, cause they're being all ruffians and stuff like that, as they were working on stuff, but they've already made a vial of viable, like they worked on the mice or whatever, and it seemed like, oh, kind of it works, but like, oh no, we don't know what's gonna happen to a human. We should do human trials. We're not quite there yet. But then guys break in, and they start hassling Martine, like threatening her, and like they're going to hurt her because they're gonna like steal stuff out of the lab and things like that. So Michael, having no recourse, just like takes the vial, stabs him in his arm. Takes the cure, and then turns into Morbius, the living vampire. Yes. And in a scene very reminiscent of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, which influenced that one scene when Doc Ock came to life in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
like that type of vibe of like the sharp cuts, the shadows on the wall, like the deep shadows, like the snap zooms, like much like what he did in Multiverse of Madness. Like Morbius beats the crap out of and maybe really hurts and maybe kills maybe one of these thugs. But it's the same type of like, it's the horror scene they were going for on the ship, but shot competently and actual using the darkness.
You could actually tell what was going on.
Yes, because we've already seen the lab. It's a room, so we've already seen it a bunch. So now when it's in shadow or like specific lights are just kind of moving, we kind of know the layout of the room and what's going on. So when he appears to snag people out of nowhere, like we kind of get we know where everything is and you understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So Morbius, now as a vampire, saves Martine.
Living vampire.
I'm sorry, the living vampire.
Yeah.
Saves Martine, and the thugs, some of them run off, some of them stop. The cops show up. Oh, we stopped these guys from robbing us, and they, cops have questions and like, well, these guys some of them have bite marks, blah 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 blah. So now, beginning of Act 2, it's okay, what the hell just happened to me? I'm super scared. I think I'm a monster now, and now we have like a Beauty and the Beast situation of like, we both clearly love each other.
Yeah.
But like, I'm now truly a monster, and I have to, for your own safety, you need to stay away from me. But they're both scientists.
Yeah.
So like, there's that.
She's like, but I need to study you because this is fascinating.
There's the tension there. There's a romantic tension. Will they? Won't they? I can't because my nose. I don't want to get my game face on. But like now it's the training montage. Like they tried to did a little bit of it in the actual movie, but like, wouldn't it have been better if she was a part of it?
I have a training montage too, but it's much different.
They learn about his abilities, the echolocation, the sonar, the flying, the increased strength, the blood stuff, and what is really, I thought it was neat that how they did in the movie of the artificial blood helping people, like people kind of knew him because he did have a scientific breakthrough.
That's a huge deal.
That part was cool. It's not in this movie because like it just. We got to focus. We got to focus in on them trying to find the cure.
Drinking out of bags of blood. He's not hurting anybody by drinking out of bags of blood.
Yes,
he's not hurting anybody.
We learned a little bit, about the drinking blood helps increase his strength. He's got X amount of time. You don't want to starve. We learned the rules of the living vampire.
The Morb rules.
Yes,
the rules of the Morb, as it were.
So
observe the Morb rules. We have written them on tablets in blood. The rules of Morb.
It's a guy coming in just sprinkling clang, just sprinkling with blood, the blood scepter or whatever. I've been to church a couple times.
The rules of Morb.
Blessed be thy Morb. Morb to thee. It's Morbin time for all. So they're training, and he's going around the city. He's flying. He's jumping really, and the CG is way less. There's no smoke effects. There's no.
I like the smoke effects.
There's too much. It's too cluttered.
I didn't hate it.
It's too cluttered. They're training stuff.
Made it spooky.
And as they're training, and like they're on rooftops and like trying to figure stuff out, and as they're training, someone's getting robbed. Oh, I'm gonna go stop him. I'm Michael Morbius, the living vampire. I can help somebody. I did it before. I can do it again. And so he stops a mugging or maybe some more of Tombstone's thugs, roughing up. Maybe like there's a protection racket or something he breaks up, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, he bites one of them. He's like, oh wait a second, I could feed off of bad guys. This might work. Oh my god, I think I figured it out. They talk like, hey, I could be like a vigilante or something. I can fly around the city. I can help people out and like, just top off of some bad guys. I'm not gonna kill him. No, I'm not gonna kill him.
Okay, yeah, because in
the movie, just like, oh, all these, everyone's just freaking dead. You bite them, you just like, they're dead. I was like, no. It just he can not all the way kill him.
Do you know what I've kind of thought about sometimes?
Oh God, the way you said that. What?
Okay, look. No one wants to be a vampire. If vampires are bad, they're monsters. They hurt people.
Sure.
But like, do you ever think about like it might be fun to like totally drink someone's blood like a vampire, but like really get like get all of it out there, like squeezing out a Capri Sun, like woo, It's of course. It's terrible. It's spooky, scary. No one. It's not. But part of you would be like, this. Like I get why they like it. Because it'd be like a rush. I feel very vulnerable right now.
So he stops him back.
How dare you?
And the cops and the Daily Bugle are kind of like, start catching on. Like, something's going on. Like, the robberies and bad people are being stopped. And some of them have bite marks. And, like, there seem to be like a leader low. But, like, who's... And of course, then, like, the Daily Bugle's, like, running stuff with, like, vigilante vampire, blah, 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 blah. News gets back to Tombstone. Who is this ruining my plans? Rabble. I'm Tombstone. I am a very... this is the first time we, like, really see him. He's really tall, albino, super strong, like, he's brick shit house.
Yeah.
So he comes up with a plan to try to confront this vigilante who's messing up his plans.
Yeah.
Michael, who's not a superhero, he's not very smart. He's a scientist. He's not a superhero. He doesn't have any training when it comes to stuff like this. Falls for the trap.
Totally.
And they can he and Tombstone could maybe like not fight, but that first confrontation, maybe of words and like maybe there's a couple swipes here and there, but you can see Tombstone just like clearly just because Tombstone, by the way, is a fighter, and this is the Tombstone that actually has powers.
Yes.
Not the just tall albino guy who's a mob boss.
This is like Kingpin's secondhand man.
Yes.
Tombstone. Like problem.
Yes, he's a problem.
Yes.
So,
He's a unit.
Yes. So Morbius gets captured. They throw him in a cell. I was like, oh, they say you're a vampire, huh? Well, let's see what happens if you're in sunlight. Or, don't drink blood for a while. Bum, bum, bum. So they, like, leave him out in a, open cage, somewhere, that no one can find him. He basically starves him. And so Michael, now, realizing that he is starving, or starves to the point where he loses control and goes crazy.
And he loses the rules of Morb.
He breaks out of his cage. He's like, "Rah!" And goes crazy. Starts crashing around town, like maybe attacking some people, drinking maybe a little too much blood. I don't think anyone really dies, but maybe people get hurt.
Yeah.
But like this vampire vigilante that the town seemed to like, hey, this guy's, we don't know who he is, but like he's helping. Yay! Is now like, oh no, he's a menace. He's a menace. So, but eventually Martine finds him and talks him back, recites to him the rules of Morb.
Oh, blessed being the Night King, Morbius, and his rules of Morb.
So, Michael comes back to himself. He's ashamed. He's like, I'm a monster. Martine, stay away from me. I love you so much, but I can't. At this point, Tombstone, who's been, learning a bunch of all this information because he was tracking him the whole time.
Yeah, man, he knows
Tombstone's smart. He's not a
He ain't no
doofus.
dum-dum.
Oh, her. Oh, she must know what's going on. Yoink! Kidnaps
Yeah.
Martine, gets more stuff out of the lab, so he knows all about Morbius. He learns the rules of Morb.
Yes.
So, So now the cops finally catch up to Morbius, and it can be the same cops from the movie.
Sure.
But why not?
Yeah. Al Madrigal and Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're given better dialogue.
Give them jokes.
Yes.
You hire two funny guys, and then they have no jokes.
Yeah, let them breathe life into the characters.
Sucks so much.
And not just be like cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
They sucked in this movie. It's not their fault. The script was
so
very
not
bad.
their fault at all.
It's just like, these guys are awesome, and we've seen them be. That we know they can be awesome. Why are they not awesome?
Why
here?
are they not being awesome?
They should be awesome.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's like, you have Al Madrigal in this movie. He's hilarious. Why is he doesn't have any jokes?
Why?
It's so stupid.
So Morbius and the cops talk, and they're like, "We're going to arrest you." Like, no, I'm the only one that can stop Tombstone. So they come to like okay, you know what? You help us get Tombstone, and we'll and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But like, clearly, the city needs your help. This guy is, we've been trying to catch him for, months, years, or whatever, but like we've never been able to do it. Okay, Morbius, I'm gonna do it. So Morbius, starts going through some more goons, but they're all like, yeah, oh, you're looking for the boss? Oh yeah, he's here. Like, oh, they want him to clearly come to this place. This is clearly a trap. But seeing as how he fell for it a couple nights ago, now he's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna be smart about this. I'm going to use all of my abilities to figure out what this trap is. So yeah, he's using the sonar. He's checking. He's using his speed. He's knocking guys around or whatever. He does cool living vampire stuff.
Yeah.
Goes in, confronts Tombstone, and now we have the big fight.
Uh-huh.
Tombstone kicks the ever living crap out of Morbius, the Living Vampire. Because Tombstone is a trained fighter, and Michael is a scientist. He's faster than Tombstone, but he doesn't know how to fight.
But he doesn't know how to throw a punch.
He doesn't know how to fight. So he's getting his butt kicked and eventually gets tossed in front of Martine, and she's like, okay, you're getting your ass kicked. I know you don't know how to fight, but you do have an advantage I don't think you're remembering. You are a doctor. You know a lot about the human body. You know he has weaknesses.
Exploit them.
By the way, you want to top off? She's like, I don't, but like I know you need help. So she feeds a little bit off of Martine. So like they kind of break that little barrier that they've been like, I'm a monster. It's like you don't have to be. I trust you and because I love you. But like, you can do this.
Actually, give them a relationship. Give them a
Go get him, Morb.
Go get him, Morb.
So
go Morb him.
Morb him real good. Let him know it's Morbin time. So Morbius goes back in there, and he starts poking him in the eyes and like rupturing his eardrums, and then he gets it with his nails up in his nose.
Ugh.
I know, unconventional, gross, but he does draw blood, which is enough for him to be like, "This is gross," but like, ah ha ha, taste your blood. Oh, you're a little special. And now, I don't know if Morbius doesn't really get like power boosts off of blood or whatever, but like, hey, you know what? But he did in the comics. He did get some of Spider-Man's blood and it did help him. So you know what? If he gets some of Tombstone's blood through unconventional means, and it gives him a little bit of an edge, beats the crap out of Tombstone now, throws him through a wall to the feet of the police, which and the media showed up, like the cops are all there, and he's been like wearing a wire the whole time, so like they get the inside information they were looking for. And so, like, oh my God, Morbius, the living vampire, saved the city from Tombstone. This horrible mob boss. They take him away to jail, and the cops are all like, "Good job, Morbius. You're under arrest." And he's like, "Yeah, I know.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine." Morbius does his time. You know, it's a couple of months here and there, and community service stuff like that. But the city is like, in the meantime, the city is caught Morbin fever.
Oh yeah,
and so now everyone's it's Morbin time all over New York City.
Yeah, they just Morbin all over the place.
You can't stop
moving, Morbin, living, loving, Lorbin, living in Lorbin, moving in Morbin.
That's how we do it. Everyone in New York City, we eat pizza for every meal.
Everyone's eating pizza and be like, "Did you hear about Morbius?"
We all love Morbin. It's Morbin time.
Hey, if you like this episode, listen to our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. No one listened to it, so listen to it. It's a great episode.
It's a great episode. So he gets out of jail. Martine's there. They love each other. They're gonna figure some stuff out. The city loves Morbius. It's Morbin time. Great, hooray! Morbius is now like this kind of pseudo vigilante that's kind of helping the cops, but like is a known entity, and like he saved the city. And Tombstone's in jail. Huzzah! Credits. And then we stop the credits after like the initial like graphic credits or whatever, right before like the boring stuff. So after that stuff, we flash over to San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
And Eddie and Venom are sitting there watching the news of who is this guy who they've called the Lethal Enforcer. That's my name, Eddie. Well, they just stole our idea. We've got to go over there and figure out what's going on. I don't know why I'm doing that voice for Venom, but
I liked it.
Well, thanks.
So good.
They chit-chat real quick. I was like, well, we got to go to New York and see what's going on with this guy. This is bull. Eddie wants the story. Venom's like, that's my name. This is my idea. It's a good name. See, I told you it was a good name.
Because he's going as a reporter for no other. Like that's good.
And Venom's like, they're calling him the Lethal Enforcer. I wanted to be called the Lethal Enforcer. Yeah, I told you that was a good name. I told you that was a good name. See, this is ridiculous. We should be the Lethal Enforcer.
That's great.
Because they're kind of the same. Venom is allowed to eat bad guys. Morbius has figured he can eat on bad guys. So like they're very similar. If Sony's going to try to team these people up for stupid reasons, then like that's how you do it. Yes. You have Venom and Eddie go and talk and figure the stuff out because they have things in common. Credits go. And then the after credits scene before we get Georgia.
The
final scene is Milo, who turns out he was the one funding the medical lab.
Okay.
For the cure. Is like, oh, he found a cure? Well, I want that.
Okay.
Because in the movie, he doesn't tell. He's like, oh, it's a curse. It's like, maybe you should tell him. You specifically did not tell him it turns you into a vampire. Don't take this cure.
Yeah.
All he knows is you got muscle mass and you're walking. This is bull. I wants it. I wants it now, please.
Yeah, man.
If he actually told him like, no, you're gonna have to feast on the blood of humans, and this is not, or you'll go crazy. This is not actually a cure. This is a mistake, and like actually tell him, then it gives Milo a lot more characterization of, yeah, I don't care. I've been living the past 34 years with this. If I gotta drink blood, like that informs his character way more than just like, I don't know what this is, but you're perfectly fine. Why would you deny me? Scoop. Oh, I gotta drink blood. Well, who cares? But like, no, like, give him an actual choice.
Yeah.
So like, and I know like Milo's actually in the comics, and like if this would not be a huge reveal but like if for all those Morb heads out there, like, oh no, Milo, that's his friend. Oh, and also Martine does not turn into a vampire. I even know, even in the comics she does, but like, no, she's our gal Friday. She's a scientist in her own right. She's very smart. She's gonna help the squad. She's gonna be a lady in the chair. Morbius, the superhero movie.
Yes.
See, that wasn't.
It wasn't so hard.
It wasn't so hard. It was. I mean, it took me. It was the hardest part of this was getting me to care enough to come up with a story for
man.
Morbius.
Yes.
But after I was like, oh yeah, no, Spidey.
There's no guts to put back in, you know.
Yeah. I just started from scratch.
Man.
Oh man. Why'd you gotta morph me so deep, man? Oh man. It's so deep in my morb. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Better than what they came up with.
Yeah.
Jay.
I like that quite a bit.
Jay, you have been buzzing since I came over.
Yeah.
About your fix. He's like, this is kind of crazy. I can't wait to tell you this.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling really good about it.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Well, before I start,
okay.
The one thing that I've actually been thinking about a lot is if we're recasting Morbius. Obviously Matt Smith's a good choice because he was the best, but that stands out mostly because he was the best part of this movie, and like he was so compelling.
Sure.
But, like the only other person that I think that could play this part, like, and would fit the bill properly.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure this is. I wanted to talk to you about this, but I was like, I figured it'd be better podcasting. But like maybe like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, maybe could do this part.
Oh, he could.
It's not a hunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not
like,
exactly a slam dunk.
Physically, Jared Leto is actually a pretty good cast.
Sure.
It's that he just doesn't. There's no.
Well, we know Matt Smith could do it because when he was in his sullen phase as the Doctor after he lost Amy and Rory.
For sure.
Like we've seen him have sexual or romantic tension with somebody.
Yeah.
So like we know he could easily pull it off and also be compelling in that mode. Whereas Jared Leto was not.
No.
But Matt Smith could easily do that just by being Matt Smith.
Yeah, I think maybe if it fits, it fits. I don't know.
He also just looked like he was having fun. Like that's the other thing.
He was having a blast. Which is what anyone else needed to be doing in that movie.
Anyone
no one
else
was having fun making that movie. Clearly, it was very obvious. Which is so interesting to me because it's like if you're going to be method and be a nightmare on set like Jared Leto, I would hope your performance at least is somehow evocative. Like, why would you be method and not have an evocative? Like, it was so I don't know. Not what we're talking about. So my fix.
Jay's fix for Morbius.
We're fully doing Night Stalkers.
Okay, cool.
That's the That's.
Yeah, Jay. What's the Night Stalkers? I honestly don't know. Okay. Oh, okay.
So we open my fix of Morbius. We open on a young Milo, a college-age Milo or Emil, whatever you want to call him, walking into like on a college campus, walking with like an elderly scientist who is explaining to him. Like, oh, like welcome to New York. What is the college that
Empire University?
Welcome to Empire University. And he's explaining like we're really glad to have you joining the staff here. We've been doing a lot of things in hematology, which is and you're going to be working with Dr. Michael Morbius. Like, and the interesting thing about what you guys are going to be fixing to cure is that you both suffer from the disease. So I think you guys are both going to have like a unique experience and a unique outlook on on fixing your disease. So we're actually we're doing some groundbreaking research here, and we really think we're glad you're going to be involved and blah blah blah. And so setting up that like they're both scientists and they both suffer from the same disease,
Right.
and they're gonna be working together, and they finally like meet and they're like, oh, they introduce each other to each other, and they're like, oh well, it's time for a transfusion, right? And they both go and like into their transfusion chairs, and they're just like talking about like what it's like having this disease, and they kind of start they bond very quickly.
Sure,
'cause
yeah.
they're very similar people, and it's very obvious they're going to become fast friends. And the conversation kind of turns to Milo continuing to talk about like, are we close? And Michael's like, I think we're getting close. And he's like, can you imagine being healthy? Can you imagine how many people we can help if we were healthy? Like, with our mindset, with our skill set, like if you and I were healthy adult males, like there's nothing that could stop us from like saving the world. Like, and he's like so hopeful, and Michael's like kind of dour and kind of not really into it, but he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And so I think we have a very similar progression of like, hey, it's bats. Like, I think maybe it's bats. It's
bats.
It's bats. They're like mice with wings.
They get this.
They drink the juice.
They drink your juice.
Damn it. And so Michael is it's like, hey, I think we can't get FDA approval. Like, no one's gonna approve this test. Like, we need human testing now. Like, it's working on mice. We need human testing, but they won't approve it.
Right.
And Milo's like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And Michael is the one that's hesitant about it, and Milo is the one that's kind of pushing him, like, hey man, like, if you won't do it, then I'll do it. And Michael's like, no, I will do it. Like, this is my plan. Takes the thing and Morbs turns into Morbius.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where Milo sees him change and is like trying to observe, like, it puts him under observation,
Sure.
but sees how he changes. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. But then he realizes, like, as he's in the like observation tank, that like he's hungering for blood and it's not going well. And he's like trying to communicate that to Milo, but Milo is just only seeing like, you're walking, you talk, like your muscle mass has grown. Like, what? This is incredible. And so Morbius sees Morbius. Take the green pill or the Morb pill. Wow. Sees him go to dose himself, and that's when he freaks out and breaks out of like containment, trying to stop him.
Right.
But he doesn't understand his own strength, and through the process of trying to stop him from taking it, he accidentally kills Milo.
Whoa!
But as Milo is dying, he's just like, you're healthy, man. And Michael's like, this did not go as well as we think it did. He's like, you're better. Like, think of all the people you can help, and then just dies. And it's like, it's one of those things. So like,
wow,
he's on the run.
Sure.
Because Milo died in the lab.
Yeah.
They were working on something they were not supposed to be working on. Like, he's got to be on the run. So we're seeing a Michael Morbius that's kind of on the lam in the city. He's like kind of like stealing from blood banks to like not have to hurt people.
Sure.
Drink blood. He's slowly figuring out his powers as it goes.
This is the kind of training montage a little bit.
No, this is more of just like kind of
survival
like a new
mode.
status quo kind of situation. But then we see Morbius like starting to like maybe help people here and there. But as he's like after like stopping a robbery and like there's a little bit of notoriety, he goes back to the blood bank to get more blood, and there are a gang of people there.
Okay.
Clearly someone has broken into the blood bank, and he's like, okay, this is what we do. Like, we help people now, and these are the blood bank people. These are the people that have been helping me out, whether they know it or not. Like, I gotta help these people. He bursts in. It comes to light that the people that are robbing this blood bank are a gang of vampires.
Makes more sense.
Actual vampires.
Yes.
Actual vampires. And they're like, what are you? And he's like, what are you? And so they're fighting.
Do they have glyphs? Do they have glyphs in weird places? They have.
I haven't thought that. But maybe.
Okay.
But like clearly like it's through like the dialogue of the vampires, it's clear that they've been kind of underground, but something has like empowered them to like kind of organize a little bit more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And as they like Morbius is fighting these vampires in the blood bank, and there's blood spewing everywhere. It's like totally Sam Raimi. It's like, oh yeah, this is wacky, it's crazy. There's blood everywhere.
Okay.
2 vampire hunters crash the fight, and Morbius is both having to dodge the vampire hunters, but while also helping them take out the vampires that attack the lab.
Sure.
But they've got all the classic stuff, like, and they are murking these vampires. Like, they are just absolutely bodying these guys. And then the last one standing is Morbius, and he's looking at them, and he's like, I'm not a vampire. And they're like, what? Are you high? You
are Morbin right now. You look like a vampire.
Like, bro. I think like that's even the dialogue. It's like, I'm not a vampire. And they're like, bro. Come on. And they fight all their way up. They fight all the way up to the roof of the building. And the sun comes up as they're fighting.
Ooh.
And he's still standing there.
Yeah.
And they're like, huh. You're not actually a vampire, are you? And he's like, no. And they were like, oh, you're the one they've been talking about, like, you've been like the vampire savior, like, that's been saving all, like, the, you know, the purse, like, saving ladies' purses and stuff. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, huh. So you're not? He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm part bat, though. And they're like, huh. What? So it turns out these characters are Frank Drake and Rachel Von Helsing, who have been Night Stalkers in the past. Frank Drake is a descendant of Dracul, who ends up being a vampire hunter, and then Rachel Van Helsing is obviously a Van Helsing from down the line.
Sure. I've never heard of either of those characters in my life.
I had to do a little bit. I did a little bit, kind of a big deep dive of like Marvel vampire.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of Marvel vampires.
There's a lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot, yeah. Marvel likes the vampires.
It's just not something I ever read.
Sure.
Ever. And they're like, so you're like part animal. And he was like, I guess.
I guess I'm like an animorph.
And they were like, we know you have no reason to trust us, but we might know someone you probably need to talk to. And they go back to their vampire hunting base, and which is run by Quincy Harker, who is another night, like he's a man in chair for like in Blade, kind of
Yep. The guy who helped Blade. His dad.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy whose name I'm blanking on.
And we find out through Quincy that there's a reason that like the vampires have been getting a little bit more organized and have been a little bit more brazen, is that a descendant of Dracul, Deacon Frost, has moved into New York.
Wait, is that actually...
Here's the thing. Deacon Frost is a Blade character.
Yes.
But the way they did it in the Blade movie is not really at all how that works.
Oh, Deacon Frost from the comics?
Deacon Frost is from the comics, but I'll explain to you what Deacon Frost, what his relationship
Please
is
do.
as we get there later.
Okay.
But what I'm stealing from you, we were talking about earlier,
Okay.
do you know who's playing Deacon Frost? David Boreanaz.
Oh!
He's the guy that's been a vampire, but like played it cool. Because I want him to be kind of the gentleman John Marconi kind of vibe. He's like very.
He could pull that off now.
And I like so he's basically trying to infiltrate, like he's trying to kind of push out all of the gangs in New York to kind of create an actual vampire underground
Cool.
in New York City, and that's
All right.
what they're fighting. They've been following Deacon, and this is where he came. But the reason they've brought him back there is that we've been trying to figure out a cure for vampirism. We've been like trying to find different serums. We've been talking to different scientists, but we discovered that in New York there was specifically one person in New York that might be unique, have a unique like outlook on trying to change back. And they like bring him down to like a secure lab, and we turn around and it is in the full lab coat, like purple pants, like full look. It's Doc Connors. The lizard in full lizard. He is Doc Connors, full lizard.
Oh.
Turns around and is just like, so I heard you're part bat. Can you guess what part I am?
Oh, so it's like Professor Lizard.
Yes. Like it is, yeah, he is like
Connor in control.
He is Connor
Yes.
in control. Like it's almost like Bruce Hulk kind
Yeah.
of thing. And so Morbius learns like how to channel the aspects of the bat in him through a training montage with the lizard, he was like, I've been learning to embrace my lizard side because I haven't quite figured out how to not be this. So clearly society's not ready for me to be this. I would prefer to be this, but I understand they don't want me to be this. So I'm trying to embrace who I am, while also, in my lab trying to figure out how to change back.
This is Buck Wild, by the way.
Well, but here's the thing. Sony has Doc Connors.
They do.
That works.
They do.
And it's also another character that's like part animal. There is a synergy there, and it's the two of them like working together in the lab.
Yeah.
But also like trying to like training and getting better. At what
And we're
he's
only like a half
capable of.
hour into the movie at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Milo dies within like the first 12 minutes, and then the end of Act 1 is when they fight on the roof.
Yes. And so we figure out basically through working with the lizard, they may have figured out a way to cure the both of them. The problem is that the vampires have also figured out that this is what they're doing, like trying to find a cure for vampirism. And so they have taken over the lab that has the ingredients for it.
Okay.
And so I like the idea of Frank and Rachel being like, we are just going to like sneak our way in, get this stuff, and get out. They don't need to know you exist. They don't need to know about you. They know about us. You guys are like our secret thing. And they're like, sure, no problem. Like, we'll be around in case. It obviously breaks bad.
Right.
I love the idea of the lizard hanging back because he's also got an APB out. Like,
oh, sure.
He can't be seen.
Yeah.
But like Morbius is like, I gotta save these two, and he's like, I don't think that's such a good idea. Like, they don't, like, society's not gonna respect us. Blah blah blah. And he's like, I gotta do it. Gets in there, saves them, but then the vampires are like, okay, interesting. You're like us, but you're not us. Cool. They take Morbius.
Oh no.
And because they're just like, we need to know what you are.
Right.
Like maybe we can daywalk through you. And so they're running tests. Deacon Frost is also in the comic books is a scientist. Like is a doctor.
I did not know that.
Like he's running tests trying to figure out how to, and he's like, you know what? I see what you guys have been working on. I think we could probably just reverse engineer this to make it so we can walk during the day. We can do all these different things. Like there's so many interesting things about it. He's like you're scientifically a vampire. I'm magically a vampire. But they're not that much different. Like I like the idea of him Like it's almost you're almost kind of impressed by him because he's just like, oh, this will be awesome. And so basically Frank and Rachel and the lizard have to break out fight with Morbius and then break him free. And then I just think I'm basically adding the lizard into the Night Stalkers.
Sure.
And it's basically the four of them just taking out vampire trash is pretty much, and like having to destroy the experiment that Deacon Frost was working on.
Sure, right.
But also simultaneously destroying the thing that could save the two of them.
Yep.
So like all of that work they've been doing is like they have to make the choice to be like, in order to like stop the vampires, we have to embrace what we are. And that sucks. But they have to do it.
They have to make a sacrifice to be heroes to save the day.
And vampires are like out of New York for the most part, at least like in an organized fashion.
Right.
But Deacon makes his escape.
Of course. Yeah. He's too good.
And then we roll credits. Like, it's just a Night Stalkers movie with a little bit of Spider-Man in there, with a little bit of, like, we're getting that stuff in there.
Cool.
Mid-credits roll, we see a Deacon Frost get into the helicopter to get away which the girl that's been with him the whole time, that's obviously, like, his girlfriend or something. And he's like, well, I guess we have to start again. He's like, I don't know how, like, what did I have in my head? So, there's files.
That's yeah.
That's Jay Schmidt. What was it there?
What did I have in my head?
He's like, how are we going to start again? And his girlfriend is like, there's also, like, you know, there's been a lot of other changes too. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant. And he was like, that's not possible. And she was like, I don't know what to tell you. And then the helicopter flies off. Setting up, if we're going to do this in this universe and we got this stuff, I love the Young Adventures of Blade. I want to see a Blade full-on origin story. Because Deacon Frost in the comic books is the guy who initially infects Blade's mom.
Yes. Well, that was the way it was in the movie.
Yeah, but the thing is, he was too young. It's like a whole thing.
Sure.
It just didn't play right. So like we are basically setting up in that post-credit sequence Blade, like a young Blade.
Wow.
And that like Morbius. By the time like Blade's like a teenager, we're gonna have like a lot of like he is coming into this world much younger than we had anticipated him earlier.
Okay.
Post-credit sequence.
Oh, okay.
Night Stalkers are getting back to base. And Doc Connors is working on something, and he suddenly starts to dissipate and disappear, a la
No Way Home.
He's clearly going to No Way Home. There's all this smoke and yada, 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 and whatever he's working on goes up in smoke. And guess who walks out through the smoke? Wesley Snipes! Multi-dimensional Blade! I don't know what he says. It's probably something about skating uphill.
Some MFers always trying to ice skate uphill.
But I just love the idea of when the lizard goes there for some reason. I don't know how in the Magic universe, but if he's just gonna be there momentarily. It's like, why not get a completely alternate dimensional Blade? Because we just set up that Blade in this universe hasn't even been born yet.
And I mean, the way you were kind of going with that is like, is Blade going to show up at any point? This feels like a Blade reveal is coming at some point.
No, we're
here.
setting up that Blade has yet to be even born.
The double Blade reveal.
Yeah.
It's the slow Blade you never see coming, Jay.
Yeah. But I just think, for me, the Doc Connors and Morbius combo, like,
that's very good.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and Sony has the rights, or can use Doc Connors.
It's actually feasible.
Yeah,
like everything I mentioned doesn't break continuity.
Nope,
and it all makes sense.
Yep,
and they're all These are all Marvel characters that they technically, I think, have rights to, except Blade. Don't know if they have. Clearly, MCU is back. They have it now, but did they have? I don't know.
I don't know. But like they're pushing the Midnight Suns video game. Like Midnight Suns is like kind of getting like, hey, this is a property that lots of cool stuff's happening. Somebody mentioned in somewhere after this week's episode of She-Hulk of like, hey, they keep mentioning vampires. Like this is the 7th time they mentioned it in Loki. They mentioned it in this. They mentioned it like there's like, we know Blade's coming.
Yeah,
we maybe heard him in one movie, possibly. I don't believe what it was. But like,
we don't
hey,
know.
the Black Knight's part of like Midnight Suns. Like we have things are kind of like, are we coming with like a big vampire thing coming in like a side Marvel project?
I'm here for it, honestly.
I mean, if there's that much stuff in the Marvel comics about vampires,
just
then
type in Marvel vampires. There it goes. I was like, wow, because I was looking that up as I was watching through the movie. And on Discord with everybody, I was like, there's just so much. There's so much here. There's so much more to do. Yeah, like, and it also like I understand that they wanted to do Morbius, and it's like, but like he has existed always in comics in which vampires are real. So like the fact that the movie doesn't even mention that at all is ridiculous. And like, and they were like, oh, it's not like Dracula, and I'm like, in the Marvel universe, Dracula exists. It's not a story. He's maybe still around. It depends on what you read. But like, I don't know.
So are like the vampire wedge of the pie of the Marvel universe. How like half the size of maybe the X-Men of the X-verse?
I would say it's a third of the size.
A third of the size? That's still plenty big enough for
That's
multiple
enough.
stories and
But also
and some
ties
fun.
into Mephisto and like all of that. Like the Doctor Strange and the vampire stuff. Those have
It bleeds over a little bit to
Yeah.
the magical, mystical stuff. I mean, if they're doing Werewolf by Night in a couple weeks. Oh wait,
Is that a couple of weeks?
It's September 30th when we're doing this. I think. Wait, hold on a second. When's that coming out? let's just do Werewolf by Night release date. That is coming out next week. Next Friday.
Is it a movie or a show?
I'm going to look it up. TV special. It's a TV special. So yeah, it's a 1 episode thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So that'll be a fun episode for for preview.
Yeah, it's
That'll
a
be-
one-off Halloween special. There will not be multiple episodes or installments.
Easy. Love it.
About an hour long, entirely in black and white. One single.
Well, if it's
episode.
53 minutes, that's even shorter than a House of Dragon episode. So we'll
shorter
be
than a
Gucci.
House of Dragons.
Okay, great.
Ooh boy, good to know. Next week. All right, you guys saw it here first, or heard it here first. Oh boy, next week's busy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Back to Morbius. We did a very good job.
I think we did actually.
Yours is buck wild, insane.
That's usually my
but
MO,
if you're
though.
gonna go,
If you're gonna do it, you
if you're
gotta
gonna
do it.
You got two choices: safe and like down the middle of the pipe, like I picked it, or like you know what? If we're flinging stuff at the wall, let's just fling.
But I think I think they were trying to do what you did. But if you think about like the grand scope of it, what's the point of doing it that way? What are like how is that servicing whatever universe you're trying to build by just kind of make like you got to make like you got to make a choice. Like you got to like open up a different room for us with a new character. And this one they were just trying to be like, well, what if it was Bat Venom? And I'm like, no, thank you. No.
That's exactly what it was. They're trying to be Bat Venom.
And it was just like, we already did Venom. We already made Venom. And the first one was pretty good.
First one was pretty good. These villains, these characters need Spider-Man to be around, or need Blade or the Midnight Suns or other characters.
Honestly, that's like the fact that they never. I think they just got too bogged down with Wesley Snipes being Wesley Snipes. But the fact that they never expanded the Blade universes, like, still boggles my mind.
Well, they did try a TV series.
Really?
There was a 12-episode series that came out. They came, oh boy, like 20 years ago, I think.
Wow.
I think it came out while I was in college.
Huh.
It was not bad.
I bet. But I
It
think,
was okay.
like all this vampire stuff. There's like a lot of rich lore from the Marvel perspective that like could have been really fun to see.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Look, I don't even know. Like we're never going. This show. We're never going anywhere near the Wesley Snipes Blades movies.
They are perfect.
They are.
My favorite one is Trinity.
It's
with a silver bullet.
Absolutely agree. Like they are so insane and they are so perfectly not very good that it's just there's no you don't need to fix them. They're just redo them. Just make your own. Just start Blade. That's why them starting Blade again is perfect. I'm like
Yep.
just
start again.
you don't gotta
Have some fun.
This can be its own little self-contained box of nonsense
Mm-hmm.
that we all know and love, and just move on. Well, I think we fixed it, bud.
We did fix it. You're welcome, Sony. I look forward to fixing Craven in a couple of years.
No one wants that movie.
Nobody wants Craven. You know what I want? I want Craven in a damn Spider-Man movie. I want Craven to hunt Spider-Man. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But apparently we're not going to get that.
No,
So
we're not. Just
all of these characters could get movies after being in a Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Venom would be so much better after being introduced in a Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
And it only barely worked without Spider-Man in it. But
Yep.
think of how much more awesome it would have been if it came after being in Spider-Man.
Yes. I think they could have landed a Carnage movie better if the second movie had Spider-Man in it, and then the third one was Carnage, and you needed Spider-Man's help to fight against Carnage,
Well,
even though Venom...
watch Feige or whoever takes Feige's place in the future when that stuff happens, because they have Venoms in the MCU now. So like, eventually that's going to happen, and then and I guess there's maybe just Sony, do you want more money? Just let them do it. Just let them do it. Just let them do it. They cut you a check. Let them do it. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Everybody can win here if you just stop doing mediocre work. But I appreciate you making bad movies so we can do this podcast.
Keeps us in business.
Yeah, yep, business. Morb business.
Well, I think that's it, my friend.
Morbin time.
Time for
For
you
to go home, but you go home, but you don't have to go home, but you can't. Morb here.
Well, thank you guys for listening. If you guys are listening on any of the podcatching apps, if you wouldn't mind giving us a rating of 5 stars, maybe write a couple of kind words, or if you're on Spotify, just those 5 stars. I want to get above 100 on that bad boy. We're so close.
Are we so close?
Yeah, we're like 98 or something. But also, if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and do that YouTube that you do so well. Just click all the stuff. Like, I don't have to, you know how to be a good steward for something that you like. You have a literacy of these platforms.
Steward us, please.
Steward it, baby. And as we say at the end of every episode, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Somehow our morbs feel better here, Jay.
It's the slow morb.
Oh, Morb! Why'd you have to morb me so Morb?
Bye, guys. Have a great week.